In this video, we are going to walk through how to use the GangSheet Wizard inside Digital Factory. Whether you are laying out multiple designs for a single print run or just trying to speed up production, the GangSheet feature makes the entire process fast and effortless. Printing many designs on the same sheet will reduce waste and save you on material costs. To get started, select the queue with which you would like to print from. Before launching the GangSheet Wizard, you will need to enable labels in your queue properties for the queue from which you will be printing the GangSheet. You will also need to set up the spacing of the jobs in the queue, or the jobs loaded into the GangSheet will be butted together without any space between them. To modify these settings for the queue, click on the three dots to the right of the queue and select Queue Properties found at the bottom. The Properties dialog will open, and to enable labels, select the Print Labels section on the left. Click on the tick box beside the title Enable Labels found at the top. With Enable Labels activated, you will now have the GangSheet ID, file names, and custom notes printed on the GangSheet. Now, set the spacing between the jobs, select Layout Manager on the left, and at the bottom of the Layout Manager settings, there are two fields, one for space between jobs and one for space between copies. The value of 0.5 inches will be entered in both fields. With this set, click OK. You are now ready to create a GangSheet. With the target queue selected, click on the Queue menu and select Create GangSheet. This will open the Create GangSheet dialog for the selected queue. The left area will list the files loaded for the GangSheet. The right side will preview the job positioning on the printed page. The GangSheet dialog can import various file formats such as BMP, GIF, JPEG, PNG, TIFF, and PDF. You have a choice of loading an entire folder with the Add Folder button or individual files with the Add Files button. To load a folder, click on the Add Folder button, navigate to the desired folder, and select the folder you would like to load and click Select Folder. The list on the left will be populated with the name of the loaded files. The total number of files is listed at the top of the list. If you have specific files to load, click on the Add File button. Navigate to the folder holding your files and select a single file, or hold the Control key and click on all the files you wish to load into the GangSheet. With the files selected, load these files by clicking Open. The list on the left shows the file name and number of copies of each file. If there is a file you no longer want to include in the GangSheet, select it in the Files to Import list on the left and click the Delete button on your keyboard. This will result in the file being removed from the list on the left and the preview on the right. The GangSheet that will be created can be given an ID, which will name the job that will be seen in the queue once the GangSheet is created. This can help keep track of jobs for different customers. When the Enable Sheet Labels button is selected and the labels are turned on in your queue settings, you will see the GangSheet ID, custom notes and file labels printed on the GangSheet. The custom notes can be used for instructions for post-production or other information related to the print job. The layout mode consists of two options found in its drop-down list, No Nest and Block Nest. No Nest will put one job on each page. The more commonly used option, Block Nest, will place as many jobs as possible on one page while following the spacing rules previously set in the queue properties. When you select each job in the list to the left, the middle area of the dialog will show the job name, number of copies, and a preview of the specific job. Here, you can modify the name of the job and modify the number of copies of the job to appear on the GangSheet. The number of copies will be reflected in the Copies column in the file list on the left and the preview on the right. Once you are satisfied with the GangSheet setup, click Create GangSheet. The queue is populated by the jobs grouped into the GangSheet job. You can create another GangSheet that represents another customer. The GangSheet job's name will use the label you set in the GangSheet ID field. If you don't set a name in the GangSheet ID, when you are creating the GangSheet, it will be named GangSheet, and if you create another GangSheet, it will be labeled GangSheet 2 and GangSheet 3 for the next, and so on. When each GangSheet is created, the last page used for the GangSheet is closed, and any new GangSheet is started on the following page. The GangSheet job can be ungrouped into individual jobs for each page within the GangSheet job. This ungrouping cannot be undone. Currently, after the GangSheet job is printed, the jobs will be moved to the job reserve list as individual pages, and it is no longer a GangSheet job. To print the gang sheet again, you will need to go through the gang sheet creation process again. That is all there is to it. The GangSheet Wizard is a powerful tool to streamline your workflow and keep your prints consistent.